Yo, you're looking at and listening to Christon Gray. Again, Christon, not Christian. That's a little weird in today's society. There's this other Christon Gray, and that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm here at South by Southwest, rocking with Sketch.
Cool. That was actually one of the questions I was going to ask, because if you do search for Christon Gray, you do come up with that Shades of Gray, which is quite different than maybe your mission of
Totally
your artwork.
Different. It's totally different. It's probably what I want to stay away from the most with the album coming out. I was like, no.
Yeah.
The singer dude has to, whatever.
Well, then let's talk about the album, The School of Roses.
Yeah.
So where does that name come from and putting it together?
I don't know. I thought I was trying to figure out something clever to explain relationships, but not too difficult to understand. So School of Roses concept is it's about growing up. It's about learning how to love God through relationships that I have with people. So it's a very human album. I didn't try to force any resolution. Like, it's not an album where it's like, you deal with human emotion for 5 seconds and then you deal with, what's the word I want to use? Like the conduct or the way that we're supposed to handle ourselves, like you find a lot in the Old Testament or New Testament. This is more of a well-rounded, like, let's reach back in books of Lamentations. Let's reach back in the more solemn parts of Song of Solomon and Ecclesiastes and stuff like that, because that's just as important as what we need to live our daily lives, that we find in books like Colossians or Romans and stuff like that. So school being learning, roses being the beauty of relationships. Picked roses because they're beautiful and they have thorns. So I think that's very representative of us as people. And it's cool. It sounds kind of cool. So.
Yeah. And this is the second album, solo album of yours. And I know that both of them have your face twice on the cover of each one. Is there kind of a concept behind there?
Somebody had mentioned on Twitter, it was like, I see you brought back your arch nemesis, and I was like, that's not this time. So the first one was called Even With Evil With Me, and it was just a complete contrast. Like, it was like almost like in theater, you see the sad face and the happy face. That was kind of that. It's like the complete other side. I can't believe this other side of us exists. This is slightly different. I'm whispering to myself. It's more of the future whispering to the past Chris, saying, hey, these are things that you should have done. Or it could be the past whispering to the current Chris and saying, remember this. Or it could be the present whispering to the future. It's a little bit different. So everything with me is some kind of like rich, layered meaning behind it. But again, on the front cover, it just looks like I got a twin brother, and people are wondering how we pulled it off. So a lot in the album.
Cool.
So.
You've also been a part of the We Live as Kings collective, and over the last year, they've gained a lot of listeners and that sort of thing. How's the dynamic of working with a group and a group of rappers versus your solo career, which has a little more singing soul kind of vibe?
I think it's a good way for me to be me completely, because the other thing is wrestling with this whole rap sing dynamic. Like, I really feel like I'm 100% both. So the ability to be, if I'm not doing it, at least around 3 other, rappers that I completely understand and I don't seem out of place. Even when it's time to like do a rap feature or do a rap song, it's not like, oh, this is Chris trying. It's like, I started off as a rapper first, wanted to venture into the singing side just because, but then now I'm attached to other ones who can do it. I don't have to do it, but if I ever want to, I'm able to. So it's good. I mean, it's a win-win for me. Like, I don't have to, but when I want to, like, it's welcome because of what kind of group I'm associated with. So.
And the song that you guys did, Arena, we hear that on the We Live as Kings album, and you've also kind of reprised it on your record. And writing that, did you have in mind kind of how worshipful it was, or how it would connect kind of even that way? That's the way that I've seen it in live settings and stuff.
It definitely was intentional to end the album. Like I said, I mentioned Ecclesiastes before, so end of Ecclesiastes, like at the end of the matter, fear God and keep His commandments. Like it's about Him and how much awe our inability to be what we should be for Him. Oh man, how much all that puts us in of the fact that he loves us anyway. So that's more concept. I'm just saying that because I didn't want people to feel like it's just the Christian, album or a song on the record.
Or the one God song.
Right. I mean, and we're giving too many nuggets into what the album may sound like or feel like, but playing off of the arena concept, that was Witt's idea and Swoop's idea from a production standpoint. Witt's idea from the standpoint that we should bring arena back. Swoop and Witt kind of joined together and turned it into something else. I kind of helped with the creative process, but they implemented it well. And then Tragic Hero helped me with lyrics, and we just went in, man. It's pure worship, just from a different place. It's not. It's definitely focused on him, but it's coming from a place of I don't know what to say, So it's a strong song. I mean, you heard it. It may take people a couple times to really live in it, but once you get there like that, it brought me to tears for the first time on my way here. I was sitting on the plane next to this couple, and it just hit me, and I'm sitting by the window like. Trying to get that cute tear, then the glasses came off, and I'm doing this, boy, and the tears are coming through my hands, and I'm like, I look up, I'm like, man, my face is wet. So
has that happened to you before, where you've been your own song has moved you?
Not really,
emotionally?
because I come from, some of the songs. I'm dealing with issues while I'm in them. And listening to them, you almost have to listen to them later for them to impact you. I know that doesn't make too much sense, but I guess for lack of a better way to say it, like some songs bring regret. So I don't want to cry. It's just like, man, I need to deal with this. Or some songs are more serious, and I'm just like, I'm on a mission, so I don't get to reflect. But this one was like, I reflected on the whole album, and it was the apex. Like, there was some tear jerkers and some moments on there where I wanted to cry, but this one at the end of the album, I was like, God, you are everything. And I was on the plane. And went in, man. So
well, finally, one of the big highlights, maybe for you guys, I know that I was cheering for you, was the Super Bowl commercial, hearing the "We Live as Kings" song on that. Tell me just the story about how you heard that was going to be a thing, and what you felt like seeing it.
Oh man, Swoop! I was walking around my house. I think I just put my daughter to bed, and Swoop texted me and was like, "Did you hear the news?" And I was like, anytime Swoop says that, it's either really bad or really good. And so I was like, "No, what's up?" And he got straight to it and said that Fox Sports was going to be airing King and Me on an American Idol commercial. I'm like, what? Like, and then, the initial reaction is first it's excitement, then it's like, come on, dog. Like, is it really going to happen? Because I'm not going to even allow myself to get excited. Next thing I know,
much less during the Super Bowl. The biggest commercial.
And then you're like, if it's going to play on the Super Bowl, like, when is it going to play? Like at 1 a.m. on the day of the Super Bowl. But man, I just let it happen, and I started looking at Twitter, and Twitter was blowing up, and I'm like, man, this really happened. And I had emails from Fox just kind of like solidifying it. It was mind blowing, more monumental than anything. We didn't try for that. Like we just did it, and it happened. Like, it was so much encouragement to see God just do that, because we couldn't have came up with that. To see it on that platform, even though it was only like 15 seconds, but still played 4 times total. Twice during pre-show, once in the 2-minute warning of that whack game, right when we needed a boost. And then I think it played one more time after that, and I'm like, it showed me at least that, like, hey, you're not crazy. Like, this stuff can happen. You don't have to compromise your integrity. You don't have to change anything. Just do what you're doing. Yes, sir. So it's crazy. And I was geeked.
Cool. Well, the album's School of Roses, March 24th. Is that the day? 25th. So, okay. And where can people find you online?
Christon Gray, CHRISTON GRAY, everywhere. Twitter, IG, Facebook, all that good stuff. So.
Okay, cool.